Hey everybody, welcome back to It's a Metal Thing. Today I'm building a cart for a wine tasting room. So it's a wine tasting cart. So let's do it. All right, this is the drawing I got for this. She wants it 18 inches deep, 54 long, 36 high. I'm going to run 1.25 inch square tube legs. She called out from 4 to 6. I decided to go with the 6 because I don't believe 4 is going to be enough material for a good enough drawer. Originally she had 4 drawers in here, but I'm only going to put 2. It's going to get a 1/2 inch glass top on there, so I'm going to put a band around the top. There's a 1/2 inch glass top on the bottom of this piece here. This piece is for the bottom of the box itself. I'm going to wrap it with this 6 inch, 1/8 inch. This piece here is actually 1/8 inch smaller than this, so that when it's all said and done, the outside diameter, outside dimension of this matches the outside dimension of this, so the leg comes down straight. First thing first, roll some material to match this radius, get those ends made, and then I can start working on the sides and the drawer mechanism. I'm going to get all this figured out. I'm going to get all the drawer glides mounted, and I'm going to go to my buddy and take it to him and see if he can make me some wood drawer parts. Just going to be easier for the slides to attach to, and I think it'll be a better quality product in the end. 1/8 inches thick, but it's, you know, I don't know, for inside a wine room I think wood would be better, but we'll see. So first things first, roll that material and get started on that. All right, so this is 14 3/4. So I came over 7 3/8, drew a line. This is where the radius is going to end. I have, so what I did was when I had these plasmid out, I had some drop and I had them shear some strips out. These are 5 1/2. This is a 6 inch strip. This is for the outside edge of this. It's a 60 inch wide. Cut this at 30 inches. I need about 24 inches of material to go around that radius, but I need enough length on the end for the flats. It's gonna end up, after I roll it, on my roll over there. So I cut this at 30 inches and put it in the roll. They'll be long, but when they come around, they'll come around like this, and then there'll be a flat section. The flat comes from the fact that it doesn't start rolling until the material gets all the way from this roll here to this roll here, which is about 3 inches. So you got 3 inches of flat, and then it'll start to roll. So you always have to have extra on the end of your rolled material. So I'm gonna do that next. All right, took a little bit, but I got it. So yeah, they fit pretty good. I'll be able to suck those in a little bit. But yeah, so what I'll do is I'll get it sucked up tight, and then I'll mark where this is, and I'll do a line on there. Looking at this though, man, I'm thinking 6 inches might be too tall, honestly. I'm gonna have to rethink that. I'm gonna think about it. I might go with 5 1/2. I don't know. I'll think about it. All right, decision made. I think I'm gonna go with it. I want the drawers to inset. I want the drawers to be flush with the face and be inset. So I need a lip. I'm gonna need at least a 1/2 inch or more of a lip for it to go into, so everything's all flush on the face, and all you have is just that little, you know, cutout. And if I gotta go at least a 1/2. So I think it might look a little blocky, but I think the drawer will look better that way. And then too, you're gonna need some depth on that. So I'm gonna take, you know, at least 2 inches out of that or more. So the depth of the drawer might only be 4 inches. So yeah, I'm gonna go with this. I'm just gonna square these up, cut them to length, and tack them on, and then I'll work on the back part. All right, tacked in, nice fit. This ends up being 35 7/8. I'm gonna cut 2 pieces of the 6 inch sheared pieces that I have. I got another one like this. One for the back, it's gonna be solid. Just tack it in, it'll be no problem. But the one on the front, whichever one you wanna call the front, I'm gonna have to lay out for some drawers. The tube, it turns out the leg's 1.5 inches because this is 1.5 inches bigger. So I thought it was 1.25 inches, but ended up, I must have changed it somewhere along the line. So I'm gonna do 1.5" tubing. I'm gonna start the tubing here on the flat. So it'll come over 1.5". I'll probably put like a 1" lip on there. I don't know if I'm gonna do 1" on the bottom and the top, maybe like half on the bottom and the top, and then split it with a 1" piece, and then 1" over here, and then come around and lay it out and see how it looks. So that's what I'm gonna do next. I'm gonna cut this material, tack it in, do some layout on there, hold it up, see how it looks, and go from there. So that's it. Something like that. So the 1.5" tubing, I'm not sure about. I don't know if I want that coming out flush. I might go 1.25". But the drawers are gonna be about like that. If I go with 1.25", I'm gonna have to move this line over 1/4 inch, obviously, because I want a 1" all the way across on the vertical uprights. 1/2 inch I need just for the drawer depth. But yeah, I think the 6" works because of the overhang. I'm afraid anything less than the 6" would have been too short. So I probably am, or definitely will go with the 1.25", just so it's not flush. I don't need it flush. Plus, there's gonna be an 1/8" piece of flat bar around this edge here, so it'll be like a weird, it's either gotta be there or be off. So if I go with 1.25", it'll be a 3/8 overhang, which I think will look better. And fortunately for me, the interior designers I work with, I've been working with them long enough, they trust me to make little decisions like that. That's why I get goofy drawings like that. So I can make the small decisions as long as the vision is close. So yeah, I'm gonna switch those up for 1.25". I'm gonna move those lines, but I think that's gonna be the layout. I'm happy with that. Plus I'm thinking about some sort of handle that's gonna go around here that I wanna incorporate for each end. So you can move the card around, but also too, I want it to kind of tie into the handle that's gonna go across the drawer. I'm not gonna run it all the way across here. I'm thinking maybe like a piece of 3/8 square that'll come, halfway or all the way out to this edge and then come around. I'll have a post in the center just for stability. But then when I put the handles on here, I'm gonna put them at the same height and make them, not all the way, but I want them to go along that line. So that's something else to think about. But yeah, I'm gonna go to 1.25". I'm gonna move those lines over, and I think it'll look better. So that's next. All right, cut out. I laid it out and I drilled holes in the corners and plasmaed it. Got it pretty good. It's I had to file it and clean all the corners up and got them all nice and crisp and straight and square. So now next I'm going to build drawer fronts. So I'm gonna take some of that leftover 1/8" over there. I'm gonna make a piece fit nice and tidy on there. I am going to put some sort of return on here. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe some 1/2 by 1/2 angle. My only concern is that it might get in the way of the drawer, but I don't think so. I think we'll be all right because the drawer is gonna, mount, the face of the wood drawer is gonna mount here. So I'm gonna leave, like I said, I'm gonna leave this top open. I'm gonna put the mounts for the drawer glides in. I'll be able to get it all situated, all squared up and everything. And then when it's all said and done, everything's working right, then I'll put the top on. So cutting drawer faces next. All right, everything's cut, squared up, made these inserts here. This is gonna be the drawer front. The gap is too tight. I'm gonna have to work that gap, but I don't wanna do that yet. First, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna tack it onto the front here. I'm gonna get the drawers and everything mounted before I do this front thing. With this being open on the top, I'm gonna leave it open on the top till the very end. I'll put this on. I'll be able to clamp onto that drawer, and I'll be able to move it in and out a little bit just to see it, and I'll be able to fit the gap, and it'll work best that way. There's not much adjustment on the glides that I bought, so they kind of have to be dead nuts. So I'm gonna tack that front on. I'm gonna tack the stringers from the front to the back that the glides are gonna go on, and I'll go out and see my buddy and see about getting some wood drawers made. A couple reasons for the wood drawer. Fastening the glides into the 1/8" drawer, if I made the 1/8" steel, it'd be kind of tricky. I don't want to see screws on the inside. I mean, I could drill and tap that 1/8", it'd be strong enough, but then I have to get those screws flush in there. You only got an 1/8" to play with. So the wood will allow you to run a wood screw into the wood because it's gonna be at least 3/8 of an inch thick. So that'll be plenty strong. Plus the weight, this thing's on casters. The top is bigger than the bottom. Casters, they're offset. So if the caster was inboard, it's even more possibility for it to want to tip. And with that much weight on there and whatever they're gonna put in there, and the drawer's gonna come all the way out. So that's kind of a concern with mine. I might put drawer stops on it, I'm not really sure, but the wood drawers will help a ton, almost. when it comes to pulling those out and not having all that weight hanging out there. So that's another reason. So I'm gonna tack that face on, I'm gonna put the stringers in, and then go out and see my buddy, and that's it. All right, so these are the drawer glides that I'm using. They're 14-inch soft close. I couldn't find the ones that I wanted, the Blum. They're an undermount, super adjustable, would be perfect for this, but they don't make them in a 14. It's a 15 or a 12. 12 is too short, 15 obviously too long. This is 14 3/4. I'm gonna have, the tabletop's gonna stick over 1.5 inches, so I need to get, you know, every bit that I can in here. The problem with these is there's no adjustment at all. There's like none. So these things have to be dead nuts. So when these pieces of steel go in here, they have to be perfectly square and straight. I'm gonna make all 4 pieces. I'm gonna drill them all at the same time so that they're the same. And then I'm gonna get them in here and get them squared up and straightened away. I'm gonna use the 5.5. This is gonna work for what I need. And I'm gonna do that next. Laid them out, stacked them, squared them up, drilled them number 29, capped them all 832. Mounted the drawer glide to one of them just to see how it worked. I wanted to maintain about 1/8 inch from the back. The drawer itself is going to, I'm gonna move it in and out and mount it to this to set the depth. So I wanted to get it back as far as I could, and I don't want to interfere with any of the closure stuff back there. So it's kind of stiff to start, but it'll be self-closing, soft close, so that's good. Next I have to get all these in here, squared up, plumbed up, straight, and get everything where it needs to be. Then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna strip weld just to make it sturdy. I'm gonna take it out to my buddy, have him make some drawers for me, and then probably get the fronts situated. I'm gonna do a return on the front, a little bit of a return. I'm probably run like 1/4 by 1/4 key stock around there just to give that drawer face a little bit of depth. Honestly, I gotta see how big the drawers themselves are gonna be and what kind of room I have in there to do a return. So yeah, I'm gonna just tack these in, and I'm gonna strip weld everything, get it sturdy enough to where it can be banging around and it's not gonna move, and have the drawers done, and then I'll work on the faces, and that's next. All right, so I got the main body with the drawer glides off to my buddy. He's gonna build me some drawers. We're using some 1/2 inch maple drawers, or it's drawer stock, so it has like a radius edge on it. It's like a, I don't know, 8 inch tall. So he's gonna make up some drawers for me. So this is gonna be the top now. Do this. So this is gonna be the top. It's 1/2 inch glass. They have 5/8 wide flat bar in cold roll. You can't get in a hot roll. So I got some 1/8 inch by 5/8 flat bar. I'm gonna roll it to this radius from here to here. And then I'm going to, this is the bottom. So I'm going to wrap it around, flush it up with here, tack it with the MIG. I'll come back with a TIG and burn in just some strip welds on the seams. So I took this material, cut it 36 inches long, which is long, too long, because I need it long for the roll, and then I degreased it and went over it with DA with some 220 just to give it a little bit of cleaning. So I'm gonna roll this and tack it on. All tacked up. Make sure everything's straight and square. When you tack it, it'll want to pull. So just come around and make sure everything's straight. Use a crescent wrench or something and just straighten around each tack area. And make sure everything's lined up there. I'm just gonna go around and just do little, probably where every tack is, like maybe like a little 1/2 inch TIG weld. Like again, it doesn't have to be super sturdy. It's just holding a glass rim. Not gonna get beat around, not gonna get a lot of action. You wanna try to keep the heat down. So I'm gonna move around a little bit and try to keep it from, it's gonna bow. I mean, there's just no way around it, but just try to minimize the amount of bow, and then you just gotta straighten it up afterwards. That's just how it works. Metal does what it wants to do, and then you have to make it what you want it to do. In the end, you are in charge. Metal is your bitch. So I'm gonna do that now. Okay, so when I was, should have showed you actually tack. So I start off the weld like a 1/2 inch, and then I come and I melt into the tack. Because you try to do the tack first, it'll move. It might move, it's under pressure or whatever. So I started off and then put one little dab of filler, and then I would just fuse that filler and then fill in the, so yeah, flattened out pretty good. So this is what a tack looks like. I guess I need to weld that up, but yeah, I can burn that in. If I come across here, I'll burn that in. So pretty much done. I'm gonna grind it flat. I might have got a little hot on some of the edges here. We'll see what it looks like after I grind it, and maybe bust that edge. But it's already got a little bit of a, the cold roll is a lot more crisp edge than the hot roll. I don't know. I'll fill that up and get it all square, and then I'll just bust that edge even all the way around. So then I'll flip it over. Oh, I gotta weld the seams. I'll flip it over and make sure everything's straight and square, and then or flat at least. And then that'll be pretty much it for that. Next, I'm going to work on the wheels. The wheels are off of for a office chair, so they don't have like a stud or anything in them. I'm going to make a little way to pop them in like it does on the chair. So that'll be next. So I'm going to clean this up, make sure it's flat, and then move on to the wheels. Wheel time, wheel time. Here we go. So I got these off of Amazon. They're wheels for a chair, office chair. So I have this post with the little snap ring on the top. So I was looking for some tubing, some pipe. Went to the depot, didn't want to buy anything. I was thinking I'd buy like a 1/2 inch nipple or something, but nothing worked. I have some solid round around here. I was gonna maybe turn something, but then I started thinking I don't need to do all that. This is about just a little over half, maybe, I don't know, 9/16 from the silver little surface there to the bottom of that ring. So I was gonna build something like that and then weld it into the tube. I have 1.25 inch tube is what I'm gonna run. It's a 065 wall. So the plan is now is I have this 1.25 inch, yes, I know it's too big, by half. I'm gonna cut it slightly under, I don't know what, 1 3/16 or maybe even 1 inch. Have to leave a little room to burn in. And I'll have to grind one side or mill it or machine it or something. I'm not gonna go buy another piece of metal. One by half would be ideal, but I don't have any. I could go down and ask my buddy, but I'll probably just make this work. So after it's sized, then I'll just put a line in here, put a hole in the center. One side's gonna be countersunk, so this will slide in, and this will like go down, and the other side will be square, so it will stay in there. So that's next. My drawer guy finished up the drawers. They fit nice. This is like, I guess, a drawer stock. They come, I don't know, it's like 10 inches wide, 8 foot long, something like that. I don't know. But it has a nice radius edge and it's pre-finished. He had this already. So yeah, they fit nice. He had hit this dimension dead nuts. I came back, I put them in, snug fit. They need to be snug because there's not any adjustment really. And I went to put them up and put this drawer front on, similar to what I'm doing here, and they were off. Didn't get these square. I didn't really have a way to cross-reference or cross-measure to get this square. So I just put a square on here and just got a little off, like maybe a 32nd of an inch, because they were all off after that. When I started cross-measuring, the first measurement was wrong, so from then on it's wrong. So what was happening was this piece of steel was like halfway exposed. It's like a 16th, buried in there, so it was just cocked a little bit. So I had to break all the tacks loose. Now I have this lightly clamped. I can move this back and forth, back and forth to make sure this is all fleshed up. It's pretty nice where it is. I'm gonna leave it like that. I'm gonna tack these in, do the same thing over here, and then I gotta figure out how to get this drawer screwed on. Right now it's sitting on some 1.25 inch square, which is good, and the right height is right. I just gotta figure out how to transfer the dimensions over to this thing. So that's next. All right, drawers are in, they're screwed in. I hate wood, but I got them to where they'll flush up. They're just held in magnets now, but they're fitting good. They're not sticking proud. There's a little bit, just a small amount of adjustment, but I think they're good. So now what I'm gonna do is work on the gap. I'll probably just get I'll cut some 1/4 inch, or not 1/4 inch, some 14 gauge little squares, and I'll just work the gap. Start at the bottom and work my way around. I'll probably end up somewhere around 8, but I'm gonna start with 14 gauge work the gap if I have to open it up more. I'm not sure what the finish is gonna be, if it's gonna be powder coated or painted. That's gonna make a difference in my decision on how big the gap's gonna be. So yeah, that's next, just work the gap. Handles are done. Now I'm going to take the face, I'm gonna put it on the face of the drawer, get them all centered up, clamp them tight, drill these holes in the wood, that way I can mount them on there. And then these are pretty much done, except for when I go to install them. Like I said, when I get them on here, they're gonna be like just in a little bit. But like I said, I'll put a little silicone on here and float them off and put magnets on and get them to sit nice and flush. So done with that, I'm gonna do that, and then I'll take these drawers out, take all the glides and stuff out, and then I'm gonna start welding up on this and getting it situated, sanded up, and ready to put the legs on. So on the legs, on the bottom, I got these, this is 1/2" material. I cut down to slide inside here. Oh, a little big, what the heck? Who's running this show? Good one way, not the other way. I have to cut these down a little bit more, mill them down some more. They might go after I clean the deburr. So anyway, I'm going to drill some 7/16 holes in here. The idea is that these pins will go in, and then this little lock and collar will hold it in place. Just for when you're lifting it, the wheel doesn't fall out. That's just the situation. So to get these to snap in, when I drill this hole, I'll put a countersink in there so this will start. If I ever take them out, it'll be kind of a bitch, because this is gonna be hard to squeeze down after it's, but I don't want them to fall out. So that's next. Legs are done. Cut them 32¼ The overall height is 36. This wheel ends up from this surface here down to the bottom is 3¼ have 1/2" top. I chamfered these edges so I can get this little snap ring started. Snug fit in there. I'm not gonna put these on until the very end. It's got soft rubber on there. If I was rolling around on this floor, they would get jacked up. So when I go to deliver it, I'll put those on. Got this drawer front mounted. I squared it all up like this. Put these little shims in here, went around it with a feeler gauge, made sure everything was the same. Then drilled the holes, and now it's centered up. It's happy where it is. Slow close. This one's a little slightly proud here. A little low here. These are a little low. Like I said earlier, I'll put some dabs of silicone on the front. I'll put this on, not tight, but enough to keep it lined up where it is, for the gap. And then I'll take these magnets and put them on the corners and hold all these 4 corners flush so when it dries, and then I can go ahead and tighten the handle up. So I have to drill this hole, and then after that I'm gonna take all the guts out, all the rails, all the glides and everything. I bought new glides, because with all this grinding and stuff and the grease in there, they'll get jacked. They're cheap. I'm gonna weld these up and then sand this whole thing, get it all prepped and ready to go. Then I can put the legs on. The legs are gonna be right about here, 1 inch. The legs are gonna be right here, about 1 inch over. So it'll cover this seam. I'll still grind it nice, it'll be nice, but it'll be covered. And I wanna maybe plug weld the backside so there's no weld. Obviously I can weld on the bottom, and I can even weld up here before I put the top on. And then, yeah, so that's next. Legs are welded on. I welded the bottom, but I didn't weld the top yet. I'm going to TIG those. It's just gonna be better, because I have to grind this flat so I can just burn it in, get it nice and hot, get it in there. So now I gotta put the bottom shelf on this thing here. This bottom shelf. It just says 10 inches. That seems awful high. I'm not feeling that. So let's find out. I don't know, man. There it is. It is what it is. Just gonna make it. Yeah, obviously she knows what she's doing. So, and if it's ugly, then it's not my fault, it's hers. But it'll never be ugly. So this is at 9.5 because we've got a 1/2 inch glass top going on here. So I'm gonna make sure this is all squared up, check the legs and dimensions and everything's straight and square and plumb, and then I'll just tack it and I'll flip it over and weld the bottom. Man, this thing's getting close. Just gotta weld the top, and then I gotta make a band for around here. So when I had these, you know, drawn up on the CAD, and these are laser cut, or these were plasma cut, but they're gonna use the same cut file or something similar to it for making the glass. I think they're gonna water jet it out, but so I can wrap my band around here. I can't go in here with the band, so I gotta end the band here. I'll just grind it and flush it up. You won't be able to tell. It'll work better. So yeah, get this squared up and weld it on. Bottom is on. Came out nice. So next is put the top on. That top over there. So I'm gonna have to grind these down. I'll probably run over this again with a DA, get rid of some of these grind marks. That top goes on here, you know, it'll be hard to get in here, so I can get all around here. And I'll probably just give this whole outer shell here a once over before I put that top on. And that'll be easy to do. On the inside, I'll just weld, and then I'll have to do a couple little TIG welds out here. Probably just something sanitary and tie it up underneath there. So that's next. Okay, something like that. So I got this all smoothed up. It's all nice. There's no big gouges or anything left. This ended up with a little boangus in it, but if I suck it down, it stays pretty straight. So I'm just gonna move it around and make sure that the gap is good all the way around. I'm probably gonna clamp something on the front of here. These still move a little bit, and I don't want that getting off, so I'm gonna run a piece across here that's, you know, that's straight and rigid, so that when I tack it, it won't move in and out. Plus I wanna suck that down a little bit. So I'm gonna suck it down tight all the way around, measure it all up. I'm just gonna weld on the inside here and on this back side up here. And then I'll just have to put some little TIG welds, a couple of TIG welds down here. Try to keep it sexy. I'm gonna do that next. All right, done deal. All powder coated, turned out good, happy with it. The drawers are good, I like the way they work. My maple inside, soft close, nice, the gap's good, it's all flush, everything, no adjustment on those, man. I really had to like work the face. I actually ground on the face a little bit and had to get it flat and straight, but yeah, it turned out good. Sexy little gold wheels. So it goes to the glass shop now. They're gonna cut some 1/2-inch glass for the top and the bottom. But yeah, finished up. So if you like the video, subscribe. Check me out on Instagram, Edit Some Metal Thing, and I'll check you on the next one.